Hello, are you looking for a cake alternative? Hi, my name is Lindsay and I am with Perfectly Pastry. Who is Perfectly Pastry? We are a local bakery in Waterloo, Illinois. How are you doing today? If you guys are, I'm like practicing this. Okay. If you guys are watching me live, use a heart. Let me know you're watching me live. If you're watching me on replay, use hashtag replay. And if it's the first time you're watching me, use the number 1. I know that was an awkward opening. So I said last week, I'm going to start working on coming up with a hook. And the hook is weird, like coming out with a hook, and that's weird for me. Like it goes against like what I've been doing. And so I always want to like laugh at myself for that hook. And so then I say something awkward and break I say my hook, and then instead of going into the next thing, I like break it with this awkward like rawr. So I'm going to work really, really hard on not doing that. So please be mindful. The hook is really awkward to me, but I think it's important that I start with the hook, I lead in with the spiel, and then I get real. That way you kind of know what we're going to be talking about if you were to ever watch this video. So that's the game plan. Oh, I put on like some lipstick and stuff, and now my hair is sticking to my mouth. Go figure, right? I thought I would put on lipstick and look pretty today, and then all of a sudden I'm eating my hair. So it's a thing. It happens, right? Whatever. What can I say? Yes. So how is everybody doing? I know so many of you guys are stuck out in cold, icy, yucky weather today. We are open in the shop. We have noticed how the roads are. My mom lives right down the road, like maybe a block from the shop. So my sister stayed with my mom and they were able to get to the shop today because they live right next to the shop. So we are open. I'm not sure how long we're going to be open. We're keeping an eye on the weather, and we're unsure if we're going to be open or not tomorrow. It's just going to depend. Like I said, my mom doesn't live that far from the shop, but we don't necessarily need to be putting people in danger for no reason. Exactly. So we're just keeping our eyes on it. But we are open today. So if you're like, I have to get out in this weather and get some treats, well, you can stop by. My sister is in the shop today. I hope all you guys are staying nice and warm. I know that this is a very slow moving storm like across the state, so stay safe out there. I figured I wouldn't keep you guys too long. I know most of you probably are really excited to have a snow day and get to stay home. I know the kids are all excited. It's funny because I got a snap on my Snapchat. So Chicago got a bunch of snow, and my cousin is a teacher, and she was like, well, we got lots of snow, but I'm still going to work today. They did not call off school. And so I like showed my daughter the snap this morning, and she was like, oh, I wish we had snow so we didn't have to go to school. And I said, no, reread that. She still has to go to school. So as a teacher, yeah, she was out this morning driving, trying to get to school. So those of you who are in Waterloo, be thankful you are not in the Chicagoland area because you would still have school. Yes. So my nieces were excited because they're off today. So they're hanging out at my mom's house with their Nana today. So they're really excited about that. I just want to let you guys know that we do have the chocolate keto cheesecake back at the shop. I know that we were out of it for a little bit. My mom was baking and stuff like that, trying to make sure that we've got things back in the kitchen for today. And then, with the snow and stuff, we don't really know who's going to ask for it. So we'll have to save it for this weekend. So if you got stuck in and you're like, all right, I need some keto cheesecake, I'll make sure she makes you guys more keto cheesecake for later this week. Okay. Because so many of you guys showed up this past weekend like, oh, I'd love to try some of that keto cheesecake. So we always have, we usually have regular Cheeto. I did that. Cheeto. I've done that a lot. We usually have regular keto cheesecake, and then we have rolled out cherry and chocolate. And though lots of you were like, oh, we really like the cherry, the chocolate is by far the winner. I mean, let's be real, who doesn't love chocolate, right? So chocolate keto cheesecake has been the winner chicken dinner in the shop lately. So if you haven't been able to stop by when the weather gets nicer, I totally understand. Come by, check it out. Try yourself a slice, right? So let's get to the whole point of my hook, right? Like you're like, all right, girl, you said you're going to talk about cake alternatives, right? So those of you who are planning a wedding, you have been out on Pinterest and out there, and you have seen the growing trend of alternative cake ideas. I was like, how would I say that? Cake alternative ideas, but cake alternative ideas or alternative options for cakes for your weddings. People are like, I don't really want to do a big cake for my wedding. It's so funny because My husband and I have been married for almost 15 years. So I guess 14 and a half really. So 14 and a half years. And when we got married, we did cake, but instead of getting a big cake because like we were on a budget, right? Because we were very young when we got married. We did individual cakes on the tables because that was a lot cheaper than one big cake. So I actually got my husband an Xbox controller cake. That was like my surprise to him. So we didn't have a groom's cake. I guess it was the groom's cake, but like that was the wedding cake and everybody had cake on their table. So I totally can get behind the trend of like, I would like an alternative to a big wedding cake, right? And over the past several weeks, we've actually had more and more people reach out to us like, hey, I'm trying to think of something that's an alternative to cake. I'd love to know what you guys have or what do you have to offer. So I thought I'd get on here since people are asking about it and people are working on wedding planning and we're kind of getting to crunch time for some people's weddings. I thought I'd get on here and talk about it and give you some ideas if you're planning. If you haven't decided on the cake or what you're going to serve as dessert, then this is definitely for you, right? So last week we talked about the one thing that surprisingly enough brides forget about, and that is food for people on the day of their wedding. The bridal party needs to eat. For whoever needs to hear this, your bridal party needs food while getting ready. I know, right? So that's what we talked about last week. And I put a link in the description letting you know, like, oh, if you really want to know about that, go watch last week's video. But this week, let's talk about some of those alternatives to cake, okay? It's so funny because my daughter's birthday was just on Monday, and she doesn't like cake. She's tried a variety of cakes, and she is just not a cake fan. She'll tell everybody, like, I'm not a cake fan. So she was like, I want a cookie cake. And I've told you guys before, we rolled out cookie cakes in our shop specifically because my niece and my daughter asked for cookie cakes for their birthday. Unbeknownst to each other, like they just randomly asked, didn't even correlate that between the two of them. They hadn't been talking about it. And both of them were like, we want cookie cakes. Two different reasons on why they wanted cookie cakes, but they wanted cookie cakes. And no, I'm not going to say, hey, got a cookie cake for your wedding. But I can totally get behind the like, I just don't want a cake, right? Because that would be my daughter. When she gets married, she's not going to want cake. So, because we've been getting the emails and we've been really talking about like cake alternatives in the shop, I'm going to bring that to you today. So here are some options that we have for you that are alternatives to cake. The first simplest way is cupcakes. We offer cupcakes. We have 3 different types of cupcakes. We have our classic cupcake, we have a signature cupcake, and then we have premium cupcakes. Your premium cupcakes, they are like our twisted cupcakes. So those are the ones that are infused with alcohol. So if you're really wanting something that's fun, like strawberry margarita cupcakes are amazing. And they're made with tequila. There's a lot of other ones. There's also keto twisted cupcakes as well. Yes, we do put alcohol in some of our keto cupcakes. They're amazing. And then we have our premiums. And so we have all kinds of different flavors. Like we love playing with flavors. Like that's our thing. And so cupcakes are no different, including the pistachio cupcake, which by the way is one of my favorites. But I've said that before when I talked about our pistachio muffins. Like I love the cupcakes and I love the muffins, but that's neither here nor there. So we do have cupcakes as an alternative for you. But I mean, let's be real. Cupcakes are very similar to cake, right? They're just individuals, right? So we do have some other options for you. We do pie. Pie is not something that we typically carry in the shop unless it's at the holidays, but we do actually do pie if you want to order pie. We actually have 3 sizes to our pies. We have your traditional pie, you know, your 9-inch pie. Everybody makes 9-inch pies, right? And then we have mini pies, which are little 5-inch pies. Those are more shareable pies. So you could, if you have an intimate dinner or something like that, you could do little shareable pies, right? And then we have petite pies. And by the way, petite pies are my favorite. I know my mom's always like, oh, petite pies are so like time consuming. They're really time consuming, but they're so cute. They're legit bite-sized pies. Like I love them. Oh my gosh, they're my favorite. But anyways, so then we have little 2-inch petite bite-sized pies, which are a lot of fun for like showers, bridal showers, baby showers, a lot where you're doing a lot of appetizers and grabbing your food to go, right? You know, a wedding, you're sitting down. So maybe you might not want to do small petite pies when you're sitting down at a wedding, but absolutely amazing for bridal and baby showers. We actually have done them for a baby shower. They were doing like a backyard barbecue. I think they called it a baby Q, right? I think that's what it was. Little pun there for them. And so we did all these little different pies that they had, and they're little petite pies. So much fun. Anyway, so we have our pie options. But we also have an option to have individual cheesecakes and individual gooey butter cakes. So they are 3-inch individuals versus the shareable pies, which are 5 inches. I'm like, so what that means is you're going to have to get out a tape measure, because I don't know that I can like visually tell you the difference. Like a 2-inch pie is probably like this big. Your 3 inches, I don't know. You'll have to get out a measuring tape measure or stop by the shop. Because if you stop by the shop, then we can show you, like, it comes in this pan, it comes in this, it comes in this, right? We could definitely set up a time and go over all of that. You could give us a call. We could take pictures, all of those things. But we do. So we do sell our half sheet and quarter sheets. So the full order, half order of both the cheesecakes and the gooey butter cakes. But then we sell them in slices in the shop as well. But we are offering this 3-inch individual. So if you have something that you want to provide each person their own little cheesecake, then yes, we do have an individual cheesecake that you can absolutely have for your wedding. Like I said, we've gotten a lot of people being like, I don't want to do cake. I just want like an individual dessert option. And what alternatives do you have? We've actually had somebody who's really interested in pies, and they are going to do the 5-inch shareable pies, which is totally fine. But like I said, the 2 inches by far are my favorite, but they're not necessarily ideal for sit-down dinner. Absolutely a great idea if you were having a like I don't even know what you would call it, like I don't know, small plates. What is that word? Tapas, I think is the word. Like if you're doing like a tapas and small plates, oh my gosh, they are perfect for that. Perfect. I mean, you could do them for birthday parties and too. I guess it depends on if you want to keep it themed or not. Like I love themed birthday parties. I love theme parties. If you want to know like how to, so I'm not one to like go out very often. I am very reclusive. I love to stay at home and watch movies and hang out with my kids and my family and things like that. I'm not like, let's go out all the time. But if you're like, how can we get Lindsay to come to our party? Make it a themed party. I love themed parties. They are absolutely one of my favorite things to do. And I've actually planned several themed parties. We did a surprise 30th 80s party for my husband when he turned 30. I did a murder mystery roaring 20s for a surprise party. I like surprise parties too, for my mom and my grandma. And their birthdays are very close. Like my mom, my grandma, and aunt their birthdays are all a day apart. So for my mom and my grandma, we did a joint surprise birthday party for them. It was a lot of fun. We ordered like this mystery dinner, like packet, and it came with like audio clippings and stuff, and everybody got to be characters, and you had to like figure out who was the murderer. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And we dressed up and we rented out this like really, really cute restaurant in Perryville called Mary Jane's. If you've ever been to Perryville, I highly suggest that you check out Mary Jane's if you haven't. And they have this room, and it's like exposed brick and stuff. Oh my gosh, we turned it into a speakeasy, and it was so much fun. It turned out really, really well. We did a Mardi Gras surprise party for my dad when he turned 50. That one was really funny because my stepmom and I made him think that the party was for me because he and my birthday are really close together. So I was pretending I was throwing myself a party, and he was being so grumpy with me because he had to like make all this food and I wasn't there to help him because I was setting up the hall, and he was like, you need to come and help me. And I was like, I'll be right there. Just come in for a second. And like he comes in carrying, I don't remember if he actually had anything in his hands or not. He may have just been storming in to come get me. He probably was like, and then he opened the door, and there's like this whole hall full of people, and we're all dressed up in Mardi Gras. It's so funny because I have like videos of it. It was a lot of fun. So I have been to a toga party even as an adult, not when I was younger, but at a toga party. I'm like, not as I was younger. That doesn't even make sense. But yes, like I was old enough to go to a toga party. And I went to a toga party. It was my uncle's birthday. So I love theme parties. Yeah, I know I totally went on a rampage, but the pies work really well for certain type of theme parties. That's totally where I was going with that. And letting you know, like if you have a theme party, I should totally get an invite because I will definitely dress up for it, like hands down. And I will convince as many people as I can to dress up with me and to come. I'm always like, we even did a luau. We did a luau with my aunt for the kids. And even that was so much fun. I just love dressing up for parties. But yeah, anyway, so if you're looking for some cake alternatives, we absolutely got your back. We have cupcakes. I know, very similar to cake, but we do have cupcakes. We have pies, like I said. We have the regular size pies, but then we have our shareable 5-inch pies, and then we have our petite pies, which are 2 inches. And then, like I said, we do now offer individual 3-inch servings for your cheesecakes and your gooey butter. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I had a friend who was just talking about how she needed some alternatives to cakes for her wedding, or if you know somebody who is planning a wedding and they're not really sure what they want to do about a cake, definitely send them our way. We'd love to chat with them and see what they're thinking and to talk to them about the different options that we have. You could definitely even tag them in this video, right? Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to let you guys get back to doing whatever it is that you are doing on this very cold day for most of you. It's actually finally warming up here in Florida because it's kind of passed through us. And I know it's up to you guys, but it is thankfully getting warm around here. So, all right, you guys, if you're watching me live, you should be liking us and following us on Facebook. If Facebook's not your thing, I totally get it. We are on other social media as well. Facebook is the only one that we are at Perfectly Pastry. All the other social media is just Perfectly Pastry. All right, you guys, I'm going to hop off of here and I will talk to you guys again next week. I want all of you guys to stay warm and stay safe. And if you need us, we are definitely here. You can send us a message on our DMs. You can give us a call. You can stop by the shop. You can send us an email or give us a phone call, whatever one you want to do. I know most of us don't pick up the phone and call anymore. But whatever, we'll be there to answer it if you decide. All right, you guys, I'm going to hop off of here and you have a wonderful rest of your week.